Welcome back, everyone. Tsargoth and Xerxes here on the next episode of our Let's Play Server Play Minecraft series. Xerxes has done a little bit of work, as you can see over here. While I was out, we have some iron doors blocking it. We got a little bit of a sunroof here, and a little bit of a crazy spider. Our machines and processing have been moved to another location. Some of the just basic cleanup in here, we got some of the things patched up. Okay, let's take a look at what we got in here. Xerxes made a basic set of machines here, combining some of the things from metallurgy, from universal electricity, resonant induction, universal electricity's mechanism, and thermal expansion. We also have some iron chests here added by the iron chest mod. Let's start off here with the power production. Power production, we have what is called a heat generator. Heat generator is Mechanism's version of a geothermal. Now, it operates by having a lava source block underneath of it. It will never consume said lava source block, and it will generate power from having that. It's kind of reminiscent of the old thermal piles from Red Power. As long as there's lava underneath it, it will generate some power. Not much, but it will generate it indefinitely. To hook this up, we are using universal cable from Mechanisms. Universal cable is cable that can actually transfer power in pretty much just about every source of power that Minecraft has. It can handle thermal expansion, resonant flux. It can handle buildcraft. It can handle universal electricity, and it can handle industrial craft. Not sure about factorization, and I know it can't handle steam natively, but overall, it's a pretty good type of power cable to use. You need 2 steel and 1 redstone to make that. We'll probably get into that at some point. Here we're using a modular battery from Resonant Induction. The neat thing about these batteries is they are multi-blocks. As you need more power storage, you can just craft more batteries, put them right next to each other, and it'll all store it up. Now here you can see the power is at 0. That's because the pulverizer here, it eats a lot of juice. It eats a lot of juice, and it's sucking up everything that we're throwing out of that one single heat generator. So we're going to need to do a little bit more. We also here have a basic factory from Mechanisms. Now, Mechanisms has several different types of factories. This particular one is a smelting factory. The nice thing about the Mechanisms factories are that you can actually have 3 items here at once. So you can smelt your 3 different ores at once. It also has some auto-sorting features, so that way if you're putting in a bunch of items, it will, and you're only putting in, well, let's say you're putting in 15 iron. If you put it into one slot, it will realize that it's all the same, the other slots are empty, and it will split it out to be 5 the same, just to make the smelting that much faster. Of course, we have the vanilla hoppers here that's taking stuff out from the iron chests and processing it. As far as the iron chests go, iron chest is slightly larger than a double chest, and its advantage is that it's in a single block. You can also have these right next to each other. Alright. The basic factory is also smart enough to auto-eject, using some of the configuration controls here, to output material that gets put into it, which it does so there. Pulverizer. Pulverizer is, as mentioned before, part of the thermal expansion set of tools. You can see it's gathering up its power. Pulverizer has some settings here where you will specify how much energy it's using, in which case it's using 10 RF per tech, resonant flux, redstone flux, maximum power, and the amount of energy stored. You can have it set up to either accept a redstone signal to process, no redstone signal, or completely disable the redstone settings at all. You also in here have choices on the configuration, on what you want it to do. Now, you can see here, this is a blue square, means anything that's a blue side, if you feed it in with pipes or anything like that, it will spit material in through those sides. So if you can have a hopper, in this case we have a hopper going to the top, it will be able to load material in. Here we have the orange sides. The orange sides also can be configured. It's either red for that, yellow for that, orange for both, and it will spit material out. If you take a look right in there, you can see a little bit of orange. The orange side will auto-eject into the pipe next to it. Lastly, machine-wise, what we got over here is we have a metallurgic infuser, also from mechanisms. Now, part of the mechanisms set of machines, a lot of it's going to require something called enriched alloy. Enriched alloy is iron infused with redstone. Now, if you take a look here at the recipes for this enriched alloy stuff, you will see it's used in all usage. In all sorts of places. We have the electric bow, the energy tablets, speed upgrades, enrichment chamber, which is effectively its macerator, atomic cores for some of the universal things, the atomic sciences for basically making some of the nuclear reactors in the IC2 world. So we're going to probably get into these at some point, but right now we're going to stick up with what we got at the moment. Since I was mentioning here that this type of a setup here is able to produce power for us, but the pulverizer is drawing just way too much juice, I'm thinking we're going to probably want to switch the pulverizer off into using its own form of energy from the thermal expansion set. So let's get a little bit set up here, and we will be right back once that's gone. That's good. Everyone, we're back here. I'm just taking a little bit of a look around to see what some of the other things that we have in here. Xerxes did a little bit of work here. We got a storage room, which is just going to store some of the different things. We have our gems and such, as well as our Thaumcraft crystals in here. We also have some Qcraft blocks. We will definitely want to be playing with Qcraft later on. And we have some of our Reactorcraft parts sitting in here. We also have this mineshaft going down below. And let's see what we have over here. Okay. Lead mining. Okay. Okay, we have some red granite cobblestone over here. Ooh, more redstone too. So we definitely have the workings of a starting mine. Looks like we got some good start for what we're doing over here. Oh, we got some iron in there too, so let me grab that. Can always use more iron. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time mining on air, not unless we're doing anything fancy with it. People played Minecraft, people know how to mine. They don't need to see me do it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grab this Vintium here as well, and we'll patch this up. Okay, before I do go, I'll also mention this stuff here. This is part of the Darkcraft set of mods, Force Crystals. Force Crystals have a lot of different uses. They're used as power for the Darkcraft Infuser, which it needs an enchantment table. We're not at that stage yet. We don't have enough material for that. It also is used with the construction of Force Ingots. Force Ingots, basically there's a couple shortcut recipes you can use using the Force Ingots to just make a little bit better use of your resources. With a Force Ingot, when you're trying to make an IC2 electric circuit, you can make two using a Force Ingot instead of using one to get with iron to only get you one. So, like I said here, let's just finish doing a little bit of prep work, and we'll be right back. Everyone, we're back. Okay, we don't quite have everything we need yet processed, but we're good enough along to actually start a little bit of some projects. Okay, what I'm thinking we're going to need here is we're going to need something a little bit better than that battery. Looks like the current version of Resonant Induction we have installed here is a little bit glitchy, and if you actually temporarily cut power to the battery and restore it, everything gets a burst of power. And, well, it's not kind of how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to just stay storing everything and working. But as you can see here, we have absolutely no power stored in the reserves. But when you do cut the power like this, you come it back, it will get a sudden burst of power. There wasn't long enough time that it was cut. So, I'm thinking we're going to store our power in the thermal expansion way here and use a leadstone energy cell. Now, a leadstone energy cell is made with a redstone block, glass, or one of the subtypes of glass, and lead. Now, it's not the best power storage unit, but it works. Now, in order to make this, it's just a nice vanilla block here of just putting the redstone together. Now there's a little trick you can do here, is when you have the little question mark on here, you can hit the question mark button on, and it will show you ghost images in your crafting grid of exactly what's needed to make that. Or you can hold the shift down, then hit the question mark, and it's going to actually put the resources in the grid for you. So that's a quick and dirty way of just making something that you need. So we're going to do the same for the leadstone energy cell. Okay, we got one of those. So let's get rid of this thing. And put this down. Oh, you know what? I made a mistake. That's the frame. It's not the actual leadstone energy cell. Okay, we need to make one of these. So that we need some more copper. We need some electrum. Oh boy. Oh, let's put this back down. Let's put our batteries back in. And you can see here, now that we just put everything all of a sudden down, everything got a burst of power. Now that's the output. That's the input. That's our output. If I can get this right. That's our output. And that'll hopefully get everything up and running. Now, going back to this, first thing we need here is we need electrum ingot. Electrum is an alloy of gold and silver. So let's just take a couple pieces of this stuff here, and let's make ourselves some. So just put the gold, silver and the gold together. We get 2 electrum dust. We'll put that in our factory here, and that'll cook up. Now the battery is, whatever reason now, the battery seems to be behaving a little better. I'm not going to pretend to understand, but I'm just going to say it's working and leave it at that. Okay, so to make the frame, we need here, we need one of these. We make one, go in here, we need one of these, and we have a leadstone energy cell. Now, this should supposedly work nice with our existing power sources. Oh, look at that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Draw the power right in to charge it up. Now, we need to designate one of these sides here as an output as well. Let's do that. That's our... You know what? We need a crescent hammer or a wrench. Let's start making that here. With thermal expansion tools like this, or the machines like this, they'll actually retain their power if we actually break it with the proper tool. So let's make ourselves a proper tool. Open the crafting table, crescent hammer, and we have ourselves a crescent hammer. We will put this down here. We will mark one of these sides as the output. There we go. So now that will actually output power there. We will change this. I'll put... How can we do this? How can we do this? How can we do this? Pull the wires here. That... Huh. How do we want to do this? Okay. Power's going over to here. I don't have a whole lot of room. So let's... guess we'll do that. We'll switch this to... Oh, can't do that, okay. That's going to be an output. Oh. Take the universal cable here. I don't like doing that. It's creating a condition where the power is looping, which means we'll probably end up losing power in the long run. So we're going to need to get this fixed before long, but considering our power production right now is being generated by this single heat generator here, it's not going to actually be any waste because it's free power anyway. Battery's full, that's full, so let's leave that for the time being. Pulverizer is running at full power, good enough for now. Okay, next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to build an alternate power source besides just that one heat generator. Now in thermal expansion, those are called dynamos. And we have 4 options. We have the steam, the magmatic, the compression, and the reactant. I'm not too sure about the reactant, that's a brand new one here. But the magmatic needs lava. We don't have a decent enough supply of that just yet, so that's going to leave us with the steam, which is water and solid fuel. Okay, taking a look at the recipe on that. Come back in here. Recipe. Can we make one? No, we can't. Why not? I bet you were missing this thing. Can we make one of these? Yes, we can. We also need some gears. Can we make those? Okay, let's make ourselves 2 of these. Two gears. Okay. Do we have everything we need now? Let's try it. Excellent. We have made ourselves our first steam dynamo. Okay. We're going to need to connect that to our energy cell. Now we can use this bunch of universal cables here, but we already got a mess of that. And I'm still wanting to try and do things here with the full thermal expansion way. For that, considering we're at the lowest tier of thermal expansion, we're going to need what is called a leadstone energy cell. Let's make ourselves 6 of those. Okay. The idea behind that is it is a similar type of cable. Just place it down. And then you can place your engine or in this case the dynamo, and it's going to place it in. Perfect. Now, the steam dynamo, as you can see from here, it has this tank here for steam, has this tank for liquid, has a fuel source, and it has its own power indication here. We're going to need to get ourselves some supply of water. Now, there's a couple different ways of doing that, but thermal expansion has its own way to generate an infinite water source, and that is called an aqueous accumulator. The way the aqueous accumulator works is built similar to the way you would any other infinite water source. First, you build this machine here, like so. Build a pneumatic servo. Whoa. Okay, let's close this out and clear all this out, and let's try this again here. So we have the block, pneumatic servo. Can we make the aqueous accumulator now? No, we can't. What are we missing? We're missing buckets. Okay, aqueous accumulator works similar to the way you would any other infinite water source. First, you create the 2 water blocks next to each other, and in place of where the infinite water would be generated, you place the aqueous accumulator machine, and it's going to generate the different the water blocks in there. Now, one of the things we have here is we have a bunch of the metallurgy ores here called promethium. Promethium is just it's a metal, weaker than iron, but it still has its uses. And one of them is the ability to make shears out of them. You can also make buckets, and considering what we're going to be doing here, I'm opting for making myself some buckets. Okay, we have enough material now to make ourselves an aqueous accumulator. Done. Okay, next we're going to just need to place that somewhere close to the steam setup here in order to get ourselves... Can I break this? Yes, I can. Excellent. So we're going to probably place the aqueous accumulator down right over here, like so. So it's going to generate the water directly into the steam boiler. Let's just go here. Excellent. I'll be right back once I get a couple You know what? I'll be quick. Let's just go over here. It's daytime outside. We can just do this quick. You can watch me klutz. 2 buckets of water. One there. One there. And you can see the aqueous accumulator's water is going up, and it's dumping it directly into the steam dynamo. Excellent. So all we need to do now is, if ever we need to augment our power production, we can just throw a couple units of charcoal in here, and it will charge up. And let's patch this up. We don't need to see anything over here other than the engine itself for the time being. Okay. Clean up here. We've got the basic workings of thermal expansion machines. Excellent. Okay, what I'm thinking about doing at this point here is just going to go through here and do a little bit of a clean up my inventory. Then we're going to have to see about fixing the wiring up a little bit in here. Maybe with that redstone energy cell here, it is making a mess, but we need to put power from the steam dynamo somewhere. You know what? We don't really need this here. That might help. Power from the steam comes in. We can change this to be an output. Wait a minute here. Is that an output or an input? I am so confused. There. Okay, so power's flowing out of this. Let's do this and this. Okay, so we've got power going in through the cell here. The battery's there, that's taking power, and that's there. I think we've got it. Okay, we have a little bit of a setup here. It's just a matter of letting this last stuff pulverize. Cinnabar needs to be cooked, not pulverized. And we have that indium stuff. I'm not quite sure what we can do with that, so let's see. What can we do with this stuff? Uses. It can be created mixed with pyrotheum to get indium ore. We can smelt it. We can redstone furnace it. We can induction smelter it. We can extract it. Doesn't look like we can do any type of a crushing on it, but I'm curious and I'm going to try anyway. Nope, can't do a thing with that. What about up here? Can you do anything with it? Nope. Okay, we might as well leave this as an ore for the time being until we can get a machine set up that actually handles this stuff. How's everything going for you, Xerxes?
I am doing well.
You doing some mining still?
No, actually, I'm exploring.
Oh, you find anything neat out there?
Well, ever since I have the flight form.
You found what?
Ever since I defeated a creature that can fly, I have.
Oh yes, with morph. You got a bat or a hecate or something?
I have a hecate.
Okay. One of the mods that we have installed is iChun's morph mod. I may have mentioned it before. I think I did. If you defeat a creature that has a has flight ability, you will gain the ability to change into that creature and fly. We also have a custom mod for the server set up, so if you have any form in morph that allows you to fly, your player can stay in their normal form and still fly as well. And that is thanks to one of the players on our server who will hopefully be popping on here at some point or another, Talon. And he has some really interesting designs, and I'm definitely going to want to give some tours of those once he's around. So you were saying what have you found?
A volcano. I found a volcano. Unfortunately, it's getting dark out. I will have to start heading back out.
Okay. And it looks like the machines have finally processed all the ores that we have. We had a bit of it. The only thing that we can't do anything with is this indium stuff right yet. That, I'm sure, will happen in time. Now we got some bronze. Let's cook up the bronze dust. There's no reason to keep it plain. We've got yellerium, which is a reactor stuff. We'll put that in the other storage. Indium, which is also reactor stuff. We'll put that in the other storage. And this can stay in here. Okay. Now it looks like we have some good stuff to start off with. We're going to probably need to get some type of a automated sorting system to try and take care of some of this stuff before long. But for now, you go in here, and you go in here. Okay? Let's take a look here. How are we doing on time? How close are we to our wrapping up point?
Are we recording?
Oh, we're recording, yep.
That's good.
How are we close to a wrapping up point?
I have a creeper pod from Pam's mob.
Oh yeah, we're at our wrap up point. What were you saying, those are? I'll let you finish off here before I close off.
Oh, I just found one of the creeper pods from the Pam's mod drop crops. Basically, you can harvest those to get gunpowder.
Okay. Since it's nighttime here, I'm going to actually explain one other thing here. We have some setups here for our. I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's Mobius or something along those lines. If 50% of the players in a given dimension sleep, it advances to daytime. Okay. Where we are right now, we are past our wrapping up point, so we really should call it a day for now. We will be back some other time. Take care, everyone.
Take care.